Former Prime Minister Tony Abbott is now a companion of the Order of Australia, the nation's highest civilian honour, as recognised in today's Queen's Birthday Honours list. The former long-time MP and fourth longest-serving Liberal leader too, I might add, behind Sir Robert Menzies, John Howard and then Malcolm Fraser, Mr Turnbull's citation records, and I quote, his eminent service to the people and the Parliament of Australia, and recognises too his significant contributions to trade, border controls and the Indigenous community. Although I reckon he thinks fighting fires will be where he's done a lot of good recently. My former boss, the Honourable Tony Abbott, now Tony Abbott AC, joins me from Sydney. Thanks for your time, Tony. Very much appreciated. Well, what do you think about today's award?
Well, Peter, it's lovely to be with you. And obviously it was a wonderful honour. It's been a thrilling day. But as you know, essentially, this is a recognition of the fact that in 2013 I led the coalition back into government, and that was a great team effort. You were a very senior part of that team. Brian Loughnane was a very senior part of that team, Warren Truss, Julie Bishop, as well as the millions of Liberals around the country who made it all happen. So I regard today's honour as a recognition of all of them, and I'm very grateful for the fact that the Liberal Party gave me the chance to lead and the Australian people did me the honour of electing me at the 2013 election.
I know when you retired from public life, you spent quite a bit of time thanking the Liberal Party and you know, it's been a long part of my history, but it's made up of a lot of very ordinary people, very salt-of-the-earth individuals who just believe in where their country is headed. It's not necessarily the party of big business that many would remember. What would you say to the Liberal Party members and supporters tonight?
Look, a massive thank you, firstly, and secondly, what you do matters. The fact that you turn out to meetings, to pre-select candidates, good candidates, the fact that you turn out on polling day to help those good candidates get elected, all of that makes a difference. And the whole point of politics, Peter, is not for one person rather than someone else to hold office. It's to make a difference. It's to get things done. It's to bring about change for the better. And I think that those tens of thousands of Liberal Party members right around the country and those millions of Liberal and National voters right around the country, they have made a difference. They have changed our country for the better, and they continue to do so. So I hope every Liberal member and supporter gives himself a bit of a pat on the back tonight.
You were always very passionate about these awards. I know in your office there was a terrific bloke who would always put forward nominations, nominations from, as I said, salt-of-the-earth sort of community type people, right through to senior business leaders and others that, you know, might be household names in this country. One of the things we've seen recently is a real growth in nominations. But I also note, you know, looking at some commentary today, a lot of people are saying, well, aren't they only getting these awards for doing their job anyway? And where are the little people nominated who do stuff on the ground? What would you say to people today and tonight about the process for nominating for awards and how they really have to get involved if they want to see local community worthies get nominated and get these awards?
Well, that's right. These awards are largely community driven, and if you think there's someone who really is worthy of special recognition who hasn't got it, there's nothing to stop you from putting in a nomination. And from what I've seen of the Honours Secretariat, increasingly, that's exactly what they want to do. They want to recognise the unsung heroes of our society, the people who make our country the wonderful place it is, not because they're paid to or because they have to, but because they choose to, the people who work for love, not just for money. So I think really those people should get recognised, and if their friends and associates go onto the Order of Australia's site and get cracking nominating them, well, then they will be.
I've got two quick questions. One, I want to ask you about the protest, but before I do, you said in some interview I listened to today that you're not going to do a Malcolm Turnbull, you're not going to write your memoirs. Why not?
Look, memoirs can very easily be self-serving, and my inclination is to look forward, not back. What can I do for my country today and tomorrow, rather than try to blow my own trumpet about what I might have done yesterday and the day before that. So look, that's why there won't be any memoirs from me. I dare say there might be some speeches and maybe some articles looking forward, and yes, sure, they'll be informed by the lessons of the past, but I'll let the historians write the history of the Abbott government.
I've got to ask you, you've been quite vocal about this COVID period, using your previous history as the health minister who set up our whole national response to pandemics. But what did you make of the protests over the weekend, which breached all the restrictions, I guess, that most of us have abided by in the last few months, certainly to the detriment of many of our businesses and jobs? What did you make of it all?
Well, 2 points, Peter. First, if the rest of us have got to socially distance and wherever possible stay home, that surely applies to protesters as well. And we can't have one rule for most Australians and a separate rule for people who are protesting a particular cause. The other point I make, though, Peter, is we've done wonderfully well in checking, virtually extinguishing the coronavirus in this country. I think it's time to drop the restrictions. Let us be free. New Zealand has done comparably well. Even the left-wing government in New Zealand is now saying people can be free again to live their own life without anyone, prime ministers, chief medical officers ordering them around. I think it's time to have our freedom back, because while we've done wonderfully well at combating the health elements of virus, gee whiz, we've all got an economic mountain to climb now. Because of a whole lot of sensible government payments, we're not feeling the economic pain, but soon we will, particularly if this lockdown goes a day longer. Absolutely necessary, and I think we passed that point some weeks ago.
Now, I know I've got friends are at your home waiting to toast you today with this gong, so I'll leave it there, Tony Abbott. I really appreciate your time tonight of all nights. Thank you.
Wonderful to be with you, Peter.